Good morning, Aries. How are you? Today is October 21st, and I'm here to do your reading for the week. Today there is some tense energy. The sun squaring Saturn. Diligence is the overall energy for the week. I'll get back to this in a second. And then on Monday, the sun moves into Scorpio and out of Libra. And then, of course, next Saturday, we have another eclipse, a lunar eclipse this time on the Taurus Scorpio axis. So the overall energy for this week is diligence, which means that you want to dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure that you have all the facts. Don't take anything at face value. Dig into what you hear, dig into what you see. Double check your work, double check your emails. I've noticed that the energy has kind of been like, and this is probably because Venus is in Virgo, ruling all those planets that have been in Libra. So it's almost like Mercury retrograde never ended. Things falling out of your hands, people being a little bit more accident prone, sending emails to the wrong person, sending the wrong email to the right person. So just make sure that you check your work this week and don't assume that just because you saw it, heard it, that it's true. Make sure you double check everything this week. Now let's get the challenge energy. Okay, we have 2 cards. Love that. Just kidding. All right, 7 of Swords. That's interesting. So that certainly explains why the diligence card is out there. 7 of Swords is people acting shady, things not being as they seem. And then we have this integration card here, about bringing things together, or somebody pretending to want unity, but it's kind of a trick, but you see how this kind of like is behind it. So this can be also, like a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of energy. So that's why I said, like, don't take anything at face value. Make sure so in Italy, they have a saying, which is that to trust is good, to not trust is better. So this is kind of the energy of the week. You just want to make sure that what's going on, like what's presenting itself, is what's really going on. See, because there's a mask there. So you have somebody in your energy who is not telling the entire truth. And they may be coming in with like a peace offering or something, saying like, no, this would be good for both of us. Oh, it's so interesting. Look at the snake repeating itself. You see that snake there at the bottom? And then there's the snake again. Like, it looks like the snake is trying to bring unity, trying to bring itself together, wholeness, but really it has a whole different plan. I hate snakes. So that's really creepy. This is actually like one of my least favorite cards in all decks too, because it's got such creepy energy. So for it to come out, all right. So yeah, watch yourself. Let's get the lesson here. Okay. All right. Horus, though, cosmic gateway. So things opening up. It says, your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are coming. And I think this came up last week. It's definitely come up perhaps for the members reading, perhaps for this in the last 15 days. Things are definitely happening. And this has been a theme that's been coming up again and again. There are large shifts happening for us. They may not be visible yet, I don't know if I told the story of my money tree that I have, that I used in a manifestation ritual. It was like just nothing for a really long time. And then these teeny tiny little leaves started to pop out, but they were tiny. And then overnight there were 5 of them, right? So it is a time of things moving, but there's a lot of work underneath the surface. And especially as we move into Scorpio season, which is all about working underneath, things, the powers that be that are not visible are very active. Now let's get the 3 cards for the week here, please. All right. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune. So things are definitely turning around, right? This is what goes up must come down. What goes down must come up, right? So there is definitely a shift in energies, hard earned, right? It's been a battle, and it's been an uphill battle, and it's been very difficult to get this wheel to turn. But these are both 10s, are they not? Yes. Okay, so a cycle, definitely at this lunar eclipse, is coming to a close, right? Things are starting to shift. What you have been working on, putting so much energy into, is finally starting to move. That said, and we'll see what else comes out here, do remember to do your due diligence, to not take things at face value, that someone is not being honest. So be cautious. You don't have to be paranoid, because that will manifest, but be cautious. Don't be cautious. Be Virgo. Virgos, you give them something and they nitpick it until there's no holes, right? So you capitalize on that Virgo energy that's going on right now, with the Venus in Virgo ruling all the planets in Taurus and in Libra. Use that Virgo energy, that hold on, let me just make sure this is 100% copacetic, to give you the reassurance that everything's okay. So it's not a question of being paranoid. It's actually a question of just being objective and detail oriented. So not lazy, not trustworthy, it's coming from a friend, it's fine, I trust them. No, check everything, read the fine print. I think I'm going to call that reading this. Read the fine print. And there's the Lover's card, which is a choice, a decision, partnership, something coming into play. 2 major arcana, 3 major arcanas here. So important things at play right now. I want to actually get another card beyond this Lovers. But remember, Lovers is about also choices and the consequence of choices. And that's what this due diligence is about, right? Make sure that you understand everything that is involved in a decision. So let's say you have a job interview, or you're going for a second job interview, or they've made you an offer, right? Ask all the questions that you need to ask in order to make sure that you are aligned with whatever this next shift is, right? With that you're both pushing the wheel in the same direction, that one's not going in one direction and one is trying to go in the other. That, you want to make sure that you're coasting in the right direction. And so in order to do that, you have to make sure that you are doing your due diligence. Now let me get one more card here. I'll take both. Another major arcana the Tower, and the Six of Swords. So there may be, in one of these choices may lead to radical changes, or one of these choices may blow up because these are both a 6, right? We have a repetition of the 10 and the 6 here. One of these choices, okay, so I really hate saying things like this because I don't believe in the doom and gloom, but one of the choices on the table, there's like 2 options, or if you, let's just say if you don't pay attention to the fine print, there could be some unpleasant surprises. So do thorough negotiations, thorough analysis of anything you need to sign, any step that is involved in you taking a next step in your future. Take it very, very seriously, right? It is not to be taken lightly right now. Now let's go ahead and get the overall energy here. I would use this Lover's card, but if I do, because they're naked, it gets shadow banned. So close your eyes, boys and girls. Let's get the overall the advice, please, for the Aries watching this video. Advice for the Aries watching this video. Okay, Green Tarot Salvation. This is an 18, so a 9. Let me read this for you. Okay, it says, the divine has intended you into being and given you the assignment to explore life through certain perceived limitations. You are meant to learn about life and all its complexity, especially learning about how to be in community with others. Green Tara, a Tibetan goddess, also known as She Who Saves, says that you will never be alone in life's journey. This compassionate savior goddess of intimate friendship will ensure that the right people will show up for you at the right time. So this may be also a relationship, like a partnership, a friendship, a somethingship. Someone maybe you thought you could trust that you learn is actually up to no good. Someone who you thought was an ally, you actually discover that that relationship gets blown up and you're forced to move on. Or you could discover under this lunar eclipse that someone that you thought was trustworthy, someone that you thought was there for your higher good, has actually been up to no good. And that part of your moving into the next chapter is to understand that this relationship was not what it seems, and that it needs to be released, because the people that you need will show up for you. It's like, this is kind of like this here, this couple in this tower. And then moving forward. So it seems to me that someone's going to reveal themselves this week. Not a surprise. The Scorpio eclipse is always going to be kind of drama laden. The good news is this is the last eclipse for this year, and we can take a sigh of relief. So yeah, this talks about the right people showing up for you at the right time, but in order for the right person to show up, the wrong one must be released. So Green Tarot reminds you that your needs will always be met. You don't need to know the how, as that is her domain. You just need to trust, and the goddess Tarot will use her magic on your behalf. You are safe and secure and always in the care of the divine, right? So a couple messages here just to sum up, right? Take nothing at face value from everyone. like, even if someone does it unintentionally, right? Let's say they didn't even know what was in the contract. They give you the contract to sign, you sign it, and then shit hits the fan, right? And that could put some weight on a relationship, but you should have read the contract. So make sure that you do your due diligence on any decisions that you make, on any offers, anything that you sign. Go through it meticulously. Ask all the questions in order to find out, because there could be a relationship at stake if not. On the other side, there is also, you may discover through doing due diligence into something related to you moving towards your next step in your future, that someone has been dishonest and they've been promising one thing, but really it's a false mask. Like, the mask is going to come off this week. And you'll realize that actually you're going to have to move away from this person. And it will be upsetting, of course, because, we don't like to feel betrayed, or that we mistrusted. But this is reminding that it's for the best, right? That whatever happens, because we end on the Six of Swords here. So moving forward, to calmer, it starts with the Wheel of Fortune and ends with the Six of Swords. So there is definitely moving forward energy, which is confirmed by this cosmic gateway, right? You see the circular thing repeating here. There is definitely a moving forward. Within the moving forward, I think there's someone who needs to be released, or someone who may push you through a perceived sense of negativity to your next step. Very brief Taylor Swift story, because I saw it today, so I assume that's why I saw it today. When Taylor Swift was a kid, she sang at her school's, there was a basketball game. So she sang at the basketball game. The next day it was in the newspapers about this rising young star at this school. Obviously all the kids at school were jealous. And the next day when she went to school with her little lunch tray, she sat down and everyone that was sitting at the table got up and left. And so she was so bullied at this school that she started investigating where she could go to get away from the bullying. And she landed on Nashville, and she nagged her family for an entire year that she wanted to go to Nashville. She was 12, which is interesting because I said this to the 2 6s, right? She was 12, and her family took her to Nashville. She had already prepared demos and stuff, for a 12-year-old girl is mind-boggling, but she was knocking on doors and whatever, and was leaving her demo tapes. And at 14, she got a record deal. So everybody was hating on the bullies, as we should, but it was the bullies that pushed her to Nashville, which is where her destiny was waiting for her, right? So sometimes, right, and that's kind of what this says, sometimes the right people show up at the right time, not in the package that you think they are. So if something negative happens to you, if somebody fucks you over, if somebody lies, cheats, bullies you, and you make a decision as a result, that person who did that, the nasty shit, is part of your soul contracts to push you onto the next stage. So don't get lost. If that does happen, don't get lost in the hatred for that person, and thank them, for dipping, for getting out of your life. Thank them for putting you on the path, because, from getting ditched in a school lunchroom to being the biggest thing in music, just you never know. So sometimes the best presents come in the worst packages. And that's kind of what this talks about here. Good luck out there. I will see you next week for another eclipse. Take care.